to my podcast, Catch Up with Jong. I have today my friend and my long lost friend, Perla Aninion Doke. For the next 30 minutes, I will be asking her story as well as asking some other questions that pertains to her life. So without further ado, please welcome Perla Aninion Doke. Pwede kang mag-introduce gamay sa iyong sarili?
Okay. Hello, my name is Perla Aninyon Duque. Um, I'm a friend of Jong and Richie Alvaro. We've been friends for a long time. And what else? I work as a healthcare worker in Kaiser Permanente. I've been working in the hospital scheduling patients for 15 years. And I'm a mother of actually a total of five kids, now grown up kids. And I was invited by Jong for this interview, and I'm ready.
All right. So let's dive into our conversation. My first question is uh, kindly narrate to us your life story, especially in your conversion with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints.
Okay. So actually, my uncle has had been a member of the church since 1974. I got acquainted with the church on that year, and so my uncle and aunt would bring me along. I was 11 years old then when I was introduced to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. At that time, the church was renting a space in Bangkeruhan, Davao City, near the public market. And I I went to church with them. Um, the first few years, I went with them, regularly every Sunday, and I was a part of the primary class. And I saw how the church grew, and I saw how the missionaries from Utah would go around and share the gospel. And so my family, actually, my immediate family was taught by the missionaries then, but my father was not actually ready to accept the gospel due to his smoking issue. But the moment I heard about the discussion about Joseph Smith, there was a sense of familiarity about the first vision. It was not a strange lesson for me. I had a sense of like familiarity about Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ appearing to Joseph Smith, and everything that the missionaries discussed made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I was baptized in the church when I was 16.
So when
Um,
was that? When
huh?
was that? Kailan yan?
I was baptized in 1978 with my older sister. At that time, my older sister had fun watching the 700 Club.
Club, yeah.
Yeah. And then she was going through a lot of issues in her life, and then there was like awakening moment that to turn to God, and the 700 Club uh uh what you call this show attracted her and gave her a sense of awareness about improving your relationship with God. And then eventually later on she met the missionaries and then invited them in, and then so she invited me, let's listen to the discussion. The missionaries mentioned to her that they're going to discuss a series of gospel discussions. So when I was invited, there was a recollection about when Joseph Smith received the first vision, and then it led me to my membership to the church. And then during that time, because I was minor, my the mission president had to ask, my sister to for me to have a permission. And so eventually my dad agreed that, I would be baptized, and that's the start of my conversion. I never doubted the teachings of, the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I became when I turned 18, I became a young women president. Our branch president at that time, Brother Claire, gave me that opportunity. I was hesitant because, my goodness, I felt like, I was a new young adult and leading the
The
young
young wo- yeah,
women at the
yeah.
same time. But it gave me a sense of responsibility and also strengthened my testimony about the gospel. And I witnessed also challenges with the youth. And, I became like, it's like, what do you call this? A shoulder to cry on. When I had one friend who had issues with family and, challenges about being a young adult. And from there, I never had the thought of, you know, leaving the church, because I had challenges as well also in the church. Sometimes I thought then that, we were trying to build a Zion, but there were like challenges about gossiping.
Okay. Let
Yes.
me just cut you there. Was there any time where you've been faced with challenges and was able to decide for yourself? I mean, what I'm saying is that, may mga panahon ba na murag na ano jud ka ba, natistingan jud ka ba sa imong
Oo. Natistingan gyud ko Jong, kay the gossips were really bad, to the point that I question how come it exists among, the sisterhood, among the relief society. Instead, I felt like I should have been protected, or
Mm,
but at that time also, the person uh whom I was linked, um assured me that, because he was a branch president, and so one time he shared his testimony and defended me and said something, because at that time ago I felt like I should have said something, even, during talks or testimony meeting. Pero wala na
mm,
ako ginapansin, because I knew that, there's no truth in it. And even the wife of of the our branch president really supported me, and she knew that, like, I don't have any what you call this, or there's no any malice on my part. Walay
mhm,
malice ba sa akong relationships, akong friendship with both of them. And they trusted me because they knew that there's no truth in it. But it was a test good of character. I felt like I had enough reason to leave the church,
mhm,
because
yes.
I felt na nganong ma-victimize man ko og mga gossiping nga ani nga wala man ko'y binuhatan. But,
Mhm,
it was a big challenge, and I feel nga dili ko safe kanang magawas ko, like may mga practices, may mga kuan, may mga activities na may mga practice. Maka-feel ko dili ko safe, but, I had good friends also nga male nga mo protect pud sa ako, abang nga, oy Pearl, ubanan ti ka, ihatod ti ka sa balay, kay during that time dagha magay mga activities sa church na man after school or after work, na mag-practice me og choir,
mm,
mag-practice me og play. Murag usay maka-feel ko ba I was alone, kay ako ra gud ang member sa church.
mhm.
Mhm. But I had
So let's go to my second question. What made what made you decide to stay close to the church and stay on the covenant path?
what made me stay, because of my testimony, because I knew from the very start that the church is true. And then ako pong na-realize na kita magud usahay ang makita nimo ang murag general bitaw membership, daghag mo muhawa sa church kay na-offend sila, usahay na-offend sila sa leaders. But we
Mhm.
have to remember, leaders are human beings too,
Yeah.
right? They have weaknesses. So murabag kung ang imong personal conviction is towards sa imong natun-an sa gospel, dapat ang imong focus is Christ. kung unsa tong iyang gitudlo sa imuha niya, kay ang conversion is a process man pod. So kung
Mhm.
ma-offend ka sa isa ka leader, unya mohawa ka, kinsa man ang kuan, murag loser, di ba ikaw?
Mhm. So, you're saying na ang mga persecution or mga pagsulay nagikan na po sa within, no,
Oh
sa
yeah, enemies, Jong, enemy within.
yeah. Al
And that one exists, even among membership naman jud mga, kay kita magudunay mga differences ta kay naman tay differences sa background, unya
mm,
maski nagtuon tag same gospel teaching, murag
mhm,
ang kuan sa ato bang impact sa atoa comes in different ways because we have different experiences. Unya ang ato pong kuan jong ato pong unsa gani ni mo, like intellectual capacity to understand the gospel.
mm. So, at least nakatabang po na siya gamay nga ano, na inspirasyon for you to stay in the church.
Yeah.
By the way, sa ko ang mga followers, si Perla, when we were together in Pag-asa Ward, formerly Pag-asa Ward, I was the bishop and she was my Relief Society president. So it was fun to, recollect and to remember them again and relive the experiences that we had before.
Mm-hmm.
So for my last question here, describe to us, no, how does your future look like in terms of keeping the covenants and
Mm-hmm.
your families, your posterity, who- you know, somebody na you can pass along all this knowledge and testimonies that you have.
Mm-hmm. At this point in time, I feel na, I've had challenges with my kids. I've had ups and downs, and then there was a moment, maybe 2 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, I really went through difficulty with my kids. But I'm just grateful for the support of my husband. And then I realized, Jong, na as long as I'm doing my best and showing them the best I could. I always, one time I told my kids, when we had a talk, that I'm not perfect. I made mistakes just like you make mistakes as well. But I expressed to them that I cared about them. I want them to be successful. And then at the same time, I told them that I am doing the best I could. And our, our membership, ang ato ang what you mean the conversion is something personal. Ang personal worthiness is something personal.
Mhm.
We cannot save our kids, neither our kids can save us,
Yeah.
or even our spouse. So and even if I have issues, I told them, I just go to my Heavenly Father and ask for forgiveness, because even if I try to prove many things, murag akong feeling ba, mura ba ka nang naagi sila makita bitaw nga mali, kay tungod siguro extended family would tell them so and so, like that. But later on, Jong, I just stopped proving myself. I just
Mhm.
decided I'll do the best I can, and then I will learn, and ingon ko nga, I will strive to be patient. Kay sila mo gud mayon sila nga I don't listen daw. Unya
Mhm.
kuan daw kanang kay to kuan makuan mura magud sila makuan Jong, murag ang ilahang usahay ang pananaw nila sa ako, because of my mga challenges, my previous, like my divorce. Murag it affected them. I know it will affect kids, but ang mga kids karon intelihente naman sila. They know when parents don't get along, when marriage doesn't work. I think mas more ang ilang understanding karon. So murag para sa ako, murag you don't have to prove so much ba. You just
Yeah.
have to do the best you can. Kay makita mo gid nila in the long run nga, why, after all, my parents are doing their best.
Yeah. So thank you so much. This would be our first interview. Maybe probably in the next few in the future, I could ask you again to come up in the show, and let's continue with this wonderful conversation.